ああ、音声入ってた。気づかなかっただろうが、音声を切ってなかったぞ。スクリーンと字幕、あ、確認。はいにしとこうかな。初見のふりしようかな。もう全然黙ってた。いや、特になんもないけど。前回の内容覚えてるん？いや、なんか、すごい、その指示に従わなかったらめちゃくちゃ病まれた覚えはあるんだけど、それが覚えてない。内容覚えてないことにしておくか。ここからこれ一応配信だから全部明るくしとくわ。現在の時刻12時。AM かこれ。AM4 時か。おら。はい。これ時間決める必要ある？いや、音が、音どうみんな。こんな感じ？こんなもん？あ、音量大丈夫そう。あ、いいんちゃいます。あ、で、ここでね、申し訳ないんだけど、私ちょっと、最後のご飯食べさせて。ガチで食べてる時間がなくてさ。マジで白米。うん。なんか麻雀杯の時もなんか言うほどなんか糖分は取ってたんだけど、やっぱ頭使うと食べる時間がお腹空いて食べる時間がなくてさ、なんかね梅なめたけと大人の鮭明太がある。そう、結局まあ寝てないっていうか、俺そんなさ6時間ぐらい寝てるからね、言うて私も。この大人の鮭明太は大人ってついてるから結構辛い。結構辛い本当に。なんか辛いねみたいな感じ。そうということでね、にじさんじ麻雀花鳥風月戦お疲れ様でした。まあね、いろいろあったんですけれども、まあみんなね、いやメイロコちゃんがめちゃくちゃ打ててて、やったらびっくりしたわよ。そう惜しかったね。お疲れ様でした本当に。 そういや面白かった。いやチキンもびっくりですよと。いや解説陣もねあったかくて、そうまあ私はねちょっと前半をね折りまくったのはね、まあちょっと結果論として良くないんですけど、でもなんか自分の中でやっぱりなんか運がない時とか、まあ先にね上がられそうな時、まあしかも今回ドラさんルールだったし、まあ、あと親だったりとか、なんかそういう時はね、でもダメそうとか振り込みそうだったらとりあえず降りて、でもなんか攻めれる時っていうのが絶対来るっていう感じで私はいつもやってるんですけど、そうなんか今じゃない、なんかなんでの白三枚落としもそうな自敗三枚落としそうなんですけど、なんか攻めるほどの手じゃないっていう時に降りるのと、今降りても結局序盤だったからあれがでファンちゃん2回でしょ、どっかでまくれる時来るんじゃないかなっていう降りでした。でもまああれはね上手い人はもしかしたら攻める、結局当たらなかったしねあれ。そうなんかだから例えばなんかトンプーとかだったら言ってた、あれはさすがにね。普通の二次三次麻雀杯だったら言ってたけど、半ちゃん2回だったから降りたみたいなところはある。そう結局後ろにね運を持ってったから、そうなんだよね。まあ分かんないからね。でも本当に前半は特にハイパイが本当に渋くて、どうすんねやみたいな感じではありましたね。そうそうそうそう。そうねそう、カスだったね。いやでも半ちゃん2回ってどっかで来ると思うんだよ。ちょっと私運がなさすぎましたけど、でもなんか大会のね紙視点を見返したら、ちょっともうアリスちゃんがなんかちょっと超次元麻雀してて、ご本人もすごい上手なんだけど、ハイパイが最初から光りすぎててちょっとやばいみたいな、なんか私とやってる次元が違うみたいな感じだったから、まあこれはこれで良かったのかなって思いました。ちょっとなんか惜しかった、ここやっとけばよかったの次元ではなかったね正直。そうそうそうそう、ずっとやばかったね。まあ、ひばちくんのリーチの速さもやっぱり速さは強さですからあったんですけど、まあどうにもこうにも泣きづらいハイパイであったりとかね、苦しかったり、チャイちゃんもねなんか見てたら別になんか悪いことをしてなくて、みんな上手やったなって思いました。いやドラ6三眼光ね、あれやばかったね。そうだけど、まあ、結構メロコちゃんがねすごい頑張ってくれたし、ふわっちのタイもすごいかったし、シーシーもね前半めちゃくちゃまくってくれたから、いや行きたかったなという気持ちはあるんですけども、そうチャイちゃん本当に悪いことしてなくてかわいそうだったし、なんか私もねチートイでローンチャイちゃんから1の満足をねした時も、 あれはもうなんか絶対その筋理論分かってる人が出すって確信してたからリーチをしたんですけど、3枚残ってたしね。なんか会話の感じ、アリスちゃんとチャインちゃんは筋分かってそうだったから、なんかその1か4か捨てる3巡目ぐらいで4を捨てたんですよね。そうで、ここで4捨てておけば1で貼った時に絶対出ると思ってそこで貼ったから、少なくとも2人はね分かってそうだったので、あれは1にしました。うまい人ほど引っかかるみたいな感じだった。本当に。そうそうそうそう。でもまあ時の運はやっぱりでかいね。まあ私のね攻めなさっていうのはもちろんあるんですけど、そうそうそうそう、そんな感じでした。裏もね、なんかせっかくさ中盤上がれても結局裏乗らなかったりもしたし、難しいですね。役満のさ矢の字もなかったじゃん、自分の手配がよ。あこから役満狙えねえだろ。何もなかっただろうが。いや肉食べたかったよ私も。もうなんなら9種9敗すら来なかっただろうが。チートイ数案でもチートイ結構いい感じ。あでもペイ1枚引き寄せたのはあれは運でしたね。ちょっと焦ってたのもあるけど、まあ、ペイは誰か出してくれるだろうという意味のねあれだったんですけど、まさか自分で引くとは思っておらず、ってなっちゃったわね。そうアリスちゃんはね国士狙ってたっぽいけど、あれはマンズの染めに見えるんだよ途中まで。1なんか捨ててたしね。絶対にそのマンズが出ねえって思ってたけど、あそこ確か私3色で待ってて、まあ、結局ミスったんですけど、9が9ぐらいならまああぶれるだろうみたいな気持ちでちょっと焦ったのはありますね。いやーやばかった、本当に怖かった。そうという個人的な振り返りでございました。もう始まってもう20分から始めるわ。いやーでもなー激アツだったなー。そして指示中は今から殺していきます。そういやーま でも私麻雀杯いつもねこんななんかちょっと苦しいなみたいな感じなんでね、まあ、ちょっとそろそろ来年の麻雀杯とかまあなんかね呼んでいただいた際にはなんかやりたいなと思いますけどね。帰省はどうだった？いやもう余裕でもダラダラしてましたよ一日。なんか百貨店行ったりしたけどね、すごかった。なんかね唐揚げ食べたいって思ってね、小腹空いてたんさ。でなんかその普通にその小腹空いてて、で車で来てたからパーパのなんか車に戻ってなんかちょっとつまむかみたいな感じでそのデパ地下でね唐揚げを探しに行ったの。じゃあさなんか6、7種類ぐらいねあって、で美味しそうどれにしようみたいな言ってたらもう右端からそう唐揚げの3分の1ぐらいでクソでかい唐揚げの3分の1ぐらいをなんか全種類くれて、いやこれお腹いっぱいになるってみたいな。そうめっちゃでかいの、めっちゃでかいその唐揚げのね3分の1で、それを全種類くれようとして、待ってこんなんお腹いっぱいで買えなくなっちゃうよと思って、そうガチただ飯なるとこやったわ。そうで2種類だけ買って帰った。美味しかったけどなんかそのおばちゃん的に元取れてたのかどうかは怪しい。そう米持ってけばよかった。でもなんか関西の百貨店のなんか気概の良さみたいな太っ腹は感じましたね。そうなんか東京とか行くとあんまそういうのないからね。そういえばリトルハミング50万再生おめでとう。ありがとう。ほな始めるか。そう都内のデパ地下ってないでしょ。ないんですよ。これスタンリーってさパッドの方がいいのかな。パッドにしようかな。スタンリーパッドでやるとかガチ勢おるで。あ、ごめん話聞かなかった。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
会議
missed a
室にも
memo.
おそらく彼は伝言を見落としたのでしょう。
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he
二
couldn't
人がど
find
れ
a
だけ一生
trace
懸
of
命
his
やって俺たちの痕
co-workers.
跡は見つかりませんでした。まあ、とりあえずここでうろちょろして指示を一旦殺していく。おい開いてない。ナイス。感度微妙、なんか微妙に強くて怖い。
Stanley went around touching
あら
every
ゆる
little
ものを
thing in the
触っ
office,
て回
but
り
it
ました。
didn't
で
make
も
a
少しも
single
変わらないし
difference.
決して物
No.
語る。うるせえバカでちょっと感度下げるわ。
Did it advance the story in any way?
うるちぇい。こんなね誘
When
導。
Stanley came to a set of two
彼は
open
左の
doors,
方の
he
ドア
entered
に
the
入り
door
ま
on
し
his
た。
left. This was not the correct way to the
二
meeting
人はそ
room,
のこ
and
とをよく
Stanley
知っ
knew
て
it
ました。
perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to
お
stop
そら
by
く
the
からラン
employee
ドたちよ
lounge
りそれを
first,
褒めたたえ
just
た
to
かったの
admire
で
it.
しょう。誰もいないよ。
Yes, truly a room worth
わ、つ
admiring.
いちゃった
It had really been worth the detour after all,
遠回り
just
だ
to
った
spend
ん
a
だ。
few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed. But
おい。
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open
左
door
側
on
の
his
ドア
left.
に入りました。お、なるほど。これは
Stanley was so bad at
指示に
following
従うことが
directions, it's
何でも
incredible
ク
it
ビになら
wasn't
なかった
5
の。う
years
る
ago.
せえよ、自分のさ、自分がさ話聞いてもらえないからってさ、そんなこと言っちゃダ
Look,
メだ
Stanley,
よ。
I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
もしかしたら出花をくじあなたの敵じゃないです。本当に違うんです。
I realize that
他
investing
人を
in your
信頼
trust
する
in
のは
someone
難
else
しいと
can
思
be
いますが。
difficult, but the fact
この
is
際
that the story has been about,
うい
but in his eagerness
うい
to prove that he is in control of
死ん
the
じゃった
story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are
イ
very
エ
powerful.
ーイワンキルしゃーやるぞーい
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
このさ会議室行くまででさ死ねることってあるんかな。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This
でも
was
ジャ
not
ン
the
プと
correct
か
way
で
to
き
the
ない
meeting
さ。
room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on
こ
his
れさ
left.
ここまで行って
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be
上がっちゃって
difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really?
い
I
や
was in the middle of something. Do you have zero
他人の思いやり
consideration
と
for
かゼロ
others?
なの。
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
そんな
Why? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you,
もう
to
さ
show you something
お前
beautiful.
5文字で話せってお前言ってることわかんねえよ。なってんだハ
Give me
ゲ
a chance.
うい早口やんってオタクくんちょっと黙りなってうい
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
うい
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
うい
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked
Oh.
through the red. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's
何があ
out
るか
there? You
知り
want
たい
to
んですか？
find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
お
You
お
see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story
台
I
無
had
しにす
written
るこ
out
とに何の価値がある
specifically
の
for
でしょう
you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I
ジャン
did.
プできね
And
え
in
か
the
ら
end,
な
it was
死ね
all
な
for
いな
nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable
こ
desires
の奇妙で
of
不可解
yours.
なあなたの
What
欲
would
を
have made
説明
this
して
game
ください
better? What did you want to see? Vehicles?
うわ
Skill trees?
ひす
Work
っ
with
て
me.
き
You've
た
given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps
Oh.
ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
おいおおなるほどねやるじゃんやるじゃんあんたやるじゃん
I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for
現
some
実
real
的で不
critical
反的
feedback
な意
here.
見を求めているのです
Oh, well, now this is useful.
Oui.
You didn't like it, but you didn't totally hate it either. You enjoyed it, perhaps is the correct term. It didn't cause you excruciating pain. Big steps we've made here today,
これ
Stanley.
は Please rate
Here,
your
based on the data from your
express.
previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
お
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard
どうかグリ
helped
ーン
you
が
feel
もちろん役に立った
motivated
と
to
言える
keep
でしょう
walking
か
through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
お答えください。お願いします。やだよ。あ、置いてねえ。はあ、やるじゃん、お前。は、誰お前。え、開いた？置いてない。You can't jump っていう実績を解除した。え、誰お前。開けろよ。開けろ開けろ。お、しゃがめる。ジャンプは無理か。え、バグこれ。遊泳された。はい。はい。バグかな。バグってことはさ、これどっかからすり抜けれたりしない。おー。
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go
あ
to
い
the
つ
meeting
や
room.
るな、マ
Perhaps
ジ
he
で。
had simply missed a memo.
ある意味勝ったか。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
ある意味勝っ
Perhaps he
たな、
wanted to
バグ
stop
は
by the。employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What but
でも
eager to
同じ
get
こ
back
と
to
してさ、
business,
これまた閉
Stanley
じ
took
込め
the
られたらど
first
うしよ
open
う。
door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something
一
beautiful.
旦若
Look,
干
let
屈
me
し
prove
てあ
it.
そこの部屋
Let
に
me
入ってみ
prove
る
that
か。
I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
おい。
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that?
これもう
Because I
先行
did.
っていいのか
And
な。
in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You give me absolutely nothing
で
so
も
far.
話聞かないといけねえんだ。だる。
Let me take a stab in the dark at a new
あー、わか
design.
ったわか
And
った
you
わ
can
か
give
っ
me
たわ
some
かったわかった
feedback.
わかったわかったわかったわかった。
There we
あー、
go.
わかった。はいはい
A
はい。
third option. This already
Ah,
feels
what
leaps
the-
ahead of where we were before. Go
Eh,
ahead,
ここ
okay?
行っ
I'm
たじゃ
going
ん。
to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
話長い話。ここ開かねえのか。なんかさっき開いたくね？押せてない。
A one? I mean, I can understand if you
What?
had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a one? That's
Eh?
not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that?
そんな咎めら
I
れる
guess
こ
it
と
isn't my
は？
place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
ああ、そういうことか。ああ、レビューの数か。もう一回入ってあげるよ。
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game
新
I've
しいゲー
been
ムの
working
試
on,
作品を作
and
ったん
now
だ。
would
今
be
の
a
ためてプ
lovely
レイする絶
opportunity
好の
to
機
give
会
it
でしょ。
some
な
playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look
ちょ
at
っ
it,
と
would
構わ
you?
ないかな。
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
なんも言うて
In this game,
Huh.
the baby crawls left
Huh.
towards danger.
Huh.
You click the button to move him
Huh.
back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep
あなたの
notes
感想
on
メ
your
モしておくこと
experience.
忘れないで。おーいうわーい音でけえよ。4時間は無理だな。
You heartless bastard.
4時
Did
間は
you
無
do
理
it because you hate babies or purely to spite me?
Boy.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me.
これっぽっちも思いつきま
I'm
せ
not
ん。
even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
もう終わりです。
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't
私
we
の
play
ゲーム
someone
があまり
else's
にひど
game?
かったというこ
Just
と
to
で。
ease the
そうで
pain.
すよ。
Let's see.
気づいてよかったですね。
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory?
どんなバッ
What
ク
is
ストー
our
リーだと思いま
motivation?
す？
Well, it
あな
seems
たがキモヤと
obvious
して
to
プ
me
レイする
that
こと
you
を意味
are
してい
meant
るのは
to
明
play
ら
as
か
a
です。
creepy man spying on innocent civilians
キモタワー
below
から
you
罪
from
のない
up high in your
市民を
crater,
偵察するの
perhaps
で
for
す。
some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
私のこと何だと思ってんだ。
Yes, that
そん
must
なやべえ性癖持っ
What
て
a
ねえよ。
fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
あ、高いからね。うい。風が。
Oh no. No, 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 it can't be. It is. It's an open
それはオープンワール
world
ド
game.
ゲーム。
Good
いいじ
God,
ゃん。
quickly block it off.
いいじゃん、いいじゃん。
Thank
なんでダメ
goodness,
なの？オー
Stanley.
プン
What a
ワー
close
ルドなんだからいいじゃ
call.
ん。
Really wandered off into that That
おめえゼルダ見習えや。
big open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any. Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
また？お、これは？
Wonderful.
あれだ。
This is exactly what I had in mind.
車でやるやつじゃない？
Box for you to run around in. There isn't
なんだっ
any
け？
possibility that you could get lost here. Now
車でや
this
る
is
サッカー
game
みたいな。
design. Stanley,
ロ
if
ケ
you
ッ
manage
ト
to
リ
get
ーグ、
lost
そ
in
れ
this
だ。
game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
でっかボール。Wait.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard
書
on?
くんじゃねえ
Stanley,
よ。
I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a
スポーツ学者では
sportsologist,
ないん
but
で
if
すが、
one ball
一つの
generates
ボー
a
ルがいてあ
certain
りのまま
amount of
喜びを生
raw
み出すのな
adrenal
ら、
pleasure, then surely
ボールが
multiple
複数あればもっ
balls
と喜
makes for an
び。
even more euphoric sports experience. I'm
そ
going
れ
to
はどうかな。
Here
1
comes
個だから
another
面
ball.
白いんじゃない？
Yes. Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it?
ボールって。
Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls.
おー、クソゲーだー。いっぱいあったらクソゲーだよ、それは。勝手に入っちゃってる
Are you
し。
enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes.
私の言うこと
You
は
get
絶
to have
対なん
fun
です
when I
よ。
let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries.
いや、ボールは1個でいい
Without
よ。
rules or
クソゲー
boundaries,
作んじ
video
ゃ
games
ね
are
え。
nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much.
あなたはもう
But
そ
who
の
knows? You're an
あなたは
inventive
独創
kid.
力のあ
You'll
る子
come
で
up
す。
with
何
something.
か思いつく
After
でしょ
all,
う。
you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
Thank you! おととい来やがれ。これどうなの？
Hold on. What are you doing?
おー！なんか来た
Stanley,
ぞ
don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You
どうや
know
って
that.
私たち
Stanley, come back.
ほえー。落ちた。ほえ、落ちた。これは会議室だ。あいつの声聞こえないし、いいな。何があるんだろう。なんか光ってるぞ。もうこれは最初の部屋？監視カメラみたいな。誰かいたんですかね、ここに。おい。
I wonder what he found.
彼は一体何を見つ
If
けた
what
ん
he
だろう。も
wanted
し彼
was
が
to be
彼
the
自
leading
身の
man in his own
物語
story,
の主
well,
人公
perhaps
で
he's
彼が
gotten
今
it.
どこにいるのか書
Down
いている
in
だろう。
wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his
彼は
choice.
自分の選択に満
And
足、
if he's
そして
learned the
それに
heavy
伴う大きな
cost
代
that
償を
comes
知っ
with
たの
it.
でしょうか。
He'll understand soon
私
what
が
I was
伝えよう
trying
と
to
したこ
tell
とを
him.
彼はもうすぐわかるでしょ
He
う。
needs me.
理解するでしょう。
Someone who will
カオ
wrap
ス恐
everything
怖、そ
up
し
at
て
the
混乱を
end
理解
to make
し、
sense
最
out
終
of the
的に全
chaos
てを
and the
包み
fear and the
込む
confusion.
誰かが。
That's who I
それ
am.
は私なの
That
で
is
すよ。
what I mean to this world. Oh, yes.
私のこと好き
Yes,
な
I'll
ん
be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
私のこと好きやったな。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
はいはい。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it
戻ってき
perfectly
たね、
well.
最初に。
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
はい。
Stanley was so bad at following directions,
これ
it's
また
incredible
同
he
じなんだ
wasn't
けど。
5 years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you forgot. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why,
説
I
教
don't know
だ
how to
るい
convince
か
you
ら
of this, but
次
I
赤の部
really
屋
do
入る
want to
か。
help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a
説
chance.
教だるいから
Now
な。
listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me.
お
Do you
前
see
の
that I
話
really
が長
have
いから
wanted you to be
な。
happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to
従
get
って
somewhere
も
that
長
isn't
え
here.
な。
Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
え、ず
I
っと知っ
just,
てる。
I wanted to stop. We would both be
私たち
so
二人
much
とても
happier
幸せに
if
な
we
る。
just
それをやめたなら。
stopped. And I think, well, I think I have a solution.
はい。
Here, let me show you.
はい。Thank you。暗いよ。
What do we want? What are we looking for?
う、
Here. Yes. Oh, it's
ここは美
beautiful,
しい
isn't it?。
ロマ
If
ン
we
チスト
just
だ。
stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
これ何これ。これ何？クリップスタジオでぼかしのピクセル数間違えましたみたいな形してるけど。
No, wait. Where are you going?
え？
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all
あ
of
あ、そうだそうだ。これ死ねるんだった。
this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
そうだそうだ。
Please, Stanley. No!
ういや。
Oh, thank God you lived.
あ
You
れ？
had me worried
死な
there
な
for
か
a
っ
moment.
た。
Now, can we please get
あ、
back to the other
もう
room?
一回できるんだったっけ？
No. No, no, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
マジで何やってんの？うい。
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
私のためにそう
Can
し
you
てく
do
れま
that
せん
for
か？
me? My God, is this really how
本当
much
に
you
どれだけ
dislike
私の
my
ゲームが嫌い
game?
なんでしょう
That
か。
you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
おー、ふい。
Or maybe you're just getting
そ
a
れも
kick out
単
of
にス
it.
リル楽しんで、もう何もわからないよ。
I just wanted
Ah,
us
でも、
to get along.
私はただ仲良くや
I
りたか
guess
った
that
ん
was
だ。
too much to ask.
結
It looks like you wanted to make a choice after
構
all.
ヨロヨロしてきた
Well,
な。
this one is yours.
ここで一旦戻ってみるか。
Do you actually want to stay
はい
alive?
それとも
Or are
私
you
をからかってるん
just
です
teasing
か
me? I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley.
Stanley,
I really
本当に。
did. I wish I still thought that was possible.
あれ、こっから先は死ねないんですか？わあ、これでもずっと見とくか死ぬかの二択じゃないか。ここで幸せな未来をみたいなのをこの人は望んでるんだろうけど、それに抗って自分が死ぬことが最短じゃないか、これもしかして。
Is it over?
終わりですか？
It's going to restart, isn't it?
お
I'm going back.
もうヤンデレだ。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Oh,
新
new
コンテンツ。
content? What does that mean? New content.
お、なんか出てきた。ここ初めてかも。
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Yes,
As
yes.
you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in
家庭パソコンに発
2013
売された
on
ゲーム
home
です。
computers.
Yes, yes.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the
エキ
world
サイティン
over.
グな新コンテンツが登場します。
Please step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable
ニュー
Ultra
コンテン
Deluxe.
ツ。
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the
めちゃん
thrilling
こ
new
ワクワクし
Ultra
ちゃう。
Deluxe content.
めちゃんこワクワクしちゃう。めちゃん
Okay,
こ。
so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
え？囚われた。開けろ。
Is it broken? What's going on here?
移動すべきなのでしょうか。
Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All
あ、動き出し
finally,
た。
at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
はいはいはい。どこで止まるんだ？最近かエレベーターには縁がありますね。
of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
おー。じゃあジャンプサークル。
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
ほう。ジャンプしなくてもいけんでしょこれ。
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
ジャンプしたらなんかもらえるのかな。ジャンプサークルが自分で出せる。なんかウルトラハンドみたいなもらえるんかな。でもジャンプできませんよってだけね。なかったわ。
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
ただ
It's
30
just
回飛べた
elevators
だ
and
け。
jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content,
滑
then I
稽じゃ
could
ね
just
えか
read through the whole
私が。
dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more.
い
Very
いじゃない。
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I knew there had to be something
Yes,
else.
yes.
Let's see it.
Okay, okay.
I'm ready for
Okay, okay,
whatever
okay.
it is.
Okay, okay, okay. あ、こっちだった。Thank you for enjoying the new
That's it?
content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when
欲深いゲー
greedy
ム界はファン
video
の気持
game
ちを無視し
developers
て
with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap
あいな
expansion
金
to
儲けと合わせ
market
て
for
安っぽい
no
拡
reason
張版を無
other
に
than
作り
to
出した
make
結
an
果はこれ
easy
で。
dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship
そこま
that's
で
gone
言
into
わ
it.
な
In
く
fact,
て
I'm
も。
looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, Test achievement, please ignore. What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to
なんか
phone these
自
people
分
on
が
Twitter
作っ
and hold them
た
personally
ゲーム
accountable.
に自分で
It's
突
my
っ込ん
fault,
でるの
Stanley.
いにしえ
I
のピ
built
ク
up
シブ
too
感じ
much
で
anticipation
古傷
around
や
the
ばい
new
ぞ今。
content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time
い
together
つも
like
ただ楽しい
always.
時間を一緒に過ごそうよ。
What do you say, friend?
いにしえのピクシブにね。あ、なんかあるじゃん。
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
なんかあるよ。シュッ。
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the
かつて
Stanley
のスタンリー
Parable
パラ
used
ブル
to
がどれほど
be.
ま
So
で。
I made something special
うわ
and
なん
tucked
だ
it away here where the
独
game's
走だ
developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the
Memory
Memory
Zone.
Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
追体験できるの。
Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind
Oh.
you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game
続い
originally
てる
launched?
ね。
Back then, video games had integrity. And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism.
スタンリー
10
の
out
素
of
晴らし
10
さを
from
ね。
Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes,
めっ
and
ちゃ
I
なんか
quote,
こう。
Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less
あ、
than
わかっ
any
たわ
form
かっ
of
たわ
art,
かったわかった。
Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
え？出れるの？ペルソナいいよね。ほんとだ。わかんない。ピヨピヨ。
Here's another moving passage.
ゲームスポーツに感動的な一節があります。
The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of
私が
choice
改
in
善する
games
と同時
and
に
one that
私
offers
が今
some
ま
of
で
the
出会
most
ったゲームの
enjoyable,
中で
surprising and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect.
わかるか
It
スタン
didn't
リ
need
ー。コン
anything
テンツ
else.
なんて
It
いらな
didn't
かったんだ
need
よ。
new content. It just
もうめ
needed
ん
to
ど
be
くさい。
left
解雇
alone.
中みたいなこ
To
と言う
spend
て
the
るん
rest
よ。
of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
開いた。そこ？出れないよ。出れないよ。無理じゃん。どうすんの？ジャンプサークルないし。戻りたい。ここから出せ。
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
あ、開いた。
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
おい。
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam.
販売レビュー
the online
集で
video
すよ。
game distributor.
草。
I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
ほんと
Sure,
だ。
these
ス
reviews
チー
were
ムの
glowing as well, weren't they?
開いたな。うわっ
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion.
く
The
さ
narrator is
こんなめたい
obnoxious
ことすん
and
の？
unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny!
ワンパニ
Funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
かわいそうに。こうやって現実を見ていくんだ。アンパニーウォー
Let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games,
この説教臭さがひっきりなしにうざい。
Preachy? Stanley?
説教臭い。いや、説教臭いよ。説教臭いことになんかもう前作からさらに加速してるわよ、あ
I
ん
always,
た。
well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
この人たちを失
Like I
望さ
let
せ
these
ないよう
people
に。
down.
黙るの
Perhaps
か？
the Stanley
黙るのかお
Parable
前。
isn't quite as sterling
黙
as
って
I
くれるの
always
か？
remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
スキップボタン欲しい、わ
A
かる。
skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record.
100の肯定
Only
的な。
positive reviews
あ
of the Stanley Parable.
あ
Today, and it's always been my motto.
水が。
I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
100のね、肯定的な意見に対して1のね、否定的な意見っていうのはね、結構響きますから。 そうそうそうそう。
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there.
やだやだやだやだ。話長いんだもん、あんた。
Truly getting... Oh, Stanley, you're back.
お、週末世界だ。
Oh, goodness, I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single... Oh, hello.
Oh,
it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust. I was consumed by it.
いや、あんたさ、話が長いからさ。もういねえわ。話がね、長いからこんなことされるのよ。なんかピーピー言ってる。うるせえし押すか。
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes!
Yes!
It seems that this is now the world we live in.
話が長い。ちょっと。いや、今度こそさ、話聞いてあげようと思ったんだけど、話が長いんだよ。ねえみんな。
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end,
お おかしくなっちゃったよ。おい、押すぞ。これどんだけ用意してんだろう。あ、壊れた。あらー、これ外に出れないのかしら。外に出たとてかもね。ほら、朝だわ。外から出たい。ああ、ハムシの音が。どうにかして出れるんですかね。ただ私ジャンプができないんですよね、この体。あ、いいじゃないですか。緑が生えてねえ。お、砂になって。こりゃあそろそろもう終わりか。週末世界かな。音がやべえ。何年経った後なんでしょうか。音がやべえ。おう、傾いてら。あら、なんもない。傾いてら。音がでかいな。なお押せるのですか。あ、押せないね。え？何エンド？
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great.
これは最高だ。彼はそう思いました。
This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
New contents. しゃあねえ
Oh,
な。
good. You noticed my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
スキップボタン欲しいよ。え、先行きたい、先行きたい。
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting
あ、でも
on
素
the
直に動
Stanley
いた今回
parable
は。
and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further.
ウルトラデラックス。
Why
え、
I'm very
初めて
proud to
発
announce
表
for
す
the
ることを
first
大変
time
光栄に思います。え、どういうこ
the
と？
Stanley Parable 2.
え？
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Go
on, try out some of the new features. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself,
本当に求めてるもん。
really want?
スキップボタンだよ。
First and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person.
ジムという名前の人物になる。
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says. But no. Instead, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
なんで？ お、ジムが。ジムボタン転居されたんだけど、あんなにバックボーン一緒に考えたのに。
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
ジャンプサークル。フリーニューイージーアチーブメント。I can't believe it's that simple.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's a Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
壊れとんのかい？開かないな。実績くれるんじゃないんですか？戻るか。
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Nani? これ
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, A hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video. You see? Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
テレポートボタンね。ちょっと待っとくか。
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things. Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
上がれそう。上がれないかな。上がれないよ。もう一回入ってもな、言われること目に見えてるしな。あ、ここがか。さらに上行けんじゃん。あ、行けないのか。もし
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
開けてよ。どっちでもいいよ。こっちか。
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
ドル。ドル。だからなんやねんっていう。
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
いけない。開けてよ。ジム行ったし。あと何？こっち来て。アチーブメント行って。ここ行って。ここか？お、なんだここ。
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
なんかこういうやつありそうだな、なんか他のゲームで。もう近づいてってんのか？ なんかやばいぞこれ。人のオブジェがいらねえ。いらなー。いや、いらなー。コレクトゼムオール、マジ？いや、いらな。
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
You are here. ここ地図に書いてるってわけじゃないよね。
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle.
はい。使い回すんじゃねえよ。
I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
使い回すんじゃねえよ。何使いどるしてね。That's new. お？これは来たとこでエンジョイ。
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it would go at the end of the
Epilogue.
Well, we'll figure that out later.
いや、ここ来たぞ。開かない。ここジムでしょ。ジム取り上げられちゃったから。どっか開かないの？開かないか。本当にあの変な人形集めないといけないのかな？ここ入ったところでザッツニューってニューちゃうがな言うてな。ジャンプできないし。いや、これね、スタンリーだから絶対集めなくてもいけるエンドがあるはずなんよ。上がってってここが？あ、なんかあるぞ。
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting.
You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms.
指触りは
And to be
正
honest,
直こっち
it's a
再
much
生
more
形するより
convenient solution for me
は
than
るかに便
actually
利解決
redesigning the
快
game
適
to
な
be
解
less
決法なので
uncomfortable.
す
Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
めっちゃ笑うやん
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made
そう
you
いう
the
ことにもう少しアッ
slightest
プす
bit
るの
more attractive
バ
as
カ
a
にしてん
person.
のかお前
The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and don't they? All this and more await you in
も
the
っと盛りだくさん
Stanley
のことが
Parable
待ち受けてい
2.
ますえバケットこれポンバケットどうすんのいやいらないんだけどこのバケツバケツいらねえぞバケツの持ち方癖ありすぎるし
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it
これは
isn't
本当に
already.
表彰されるすべきです安心のバケツバケツエグジットって書いてるもういらねえからもう持って帰るか
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
いやもういっぱいいっぱいよすごい人の顔みたいなこの行き先のあれが
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video
この
game,
バ
but
ケツいらんねっ
I
て
can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment.
おいよ
I'll
実
arrange
験
these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes,
Here it
yes.
is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
おーおー
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement.
まとめたね
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
ぽよ
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the
よりもっと
magic
今
of
の
the
とかやる
first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags
あー
are, they
もう
won't stand on their
ア
own.
ンチに支
They
配
would
されて
need
えら
the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply
おーシンプルにしたね
insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and
聞
integrity
い
of
と
the
る聞い
original
と
game.
る
Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction,
それっ
This
てでも
is
1と
the
変わらなく
Stanley
ないです
Parable
か
2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
すご すげえ凍ってんね
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it? When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
バケツ拘束する。ちょっと待って、バケツ取りに行くか。あ、もう閉まっちゃったかな。あ、閉まっちゃった。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a... Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some really critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that?
確かにバケツ取るとこから始めるか。
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got... Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room. And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
押せねえ押せねえ。あ、いけた。ほい。
Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
来た。なんだこ
You see,
こ。
your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
え？なんで？なんか開いたな。
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
ついちゃった。音でかい。音でかい音でかい音でかい音でかい音でかい音でかい音でかい音でかい音で音でかい音でかい音でかい。
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
もうなんちゅうこと言うんや。
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give
何かを
something
極
up.
めなくてはいけません。
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
バケツデストロイヤー。
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer
バケ
does?
ツデストロイヤ
Surely
ー。
you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
これは
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket.
渡すってど
I
こ
don't
に
know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley
で
Parable
も
characters?
こいつと
Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits.
10個の
What other object in this game can you even say
めっ
that
ち
about?
ゃ
The
喋
Broom
る
Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crash that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry
死ん
and
じゃう。おー。え
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Goodbye. ジンベエが泣いたかこれは。これ
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
これね、エンドレスじゃなくてどっかでエンディング流れたような気がするんだけど、そこそこやってるでなぁと
When
いう。
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
たような
Yet
気
there was
が
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
あったねこれも
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
ういえ助かったぜお
You found one of them.
ガチで
One of the
こ
miniature Stanley
れマ
figurines.
ジかよ
Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
あれで終わってたと思ったわ
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it
で
had
も
never
この
occurred
人
to
形
him?
集めてることが
This
すでに指
question
示
would
に
not
屈し
go
てんだよ
unanswered
な
for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
これ
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
あら死を遂げるんですかうんこんなんあったっけほうこちゃほ
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence
なんか
whatsoever.
機械に挟
Stanley
ま
can't
れ
see
るか
the
なん
bigger
か
picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of
なんだっ
what
け
this
なこ
world
れ
is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
ほうほうほう
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would
それでもそう
restart
ス
the
タリはゲームを
game
再
back
開
in
し
his
相変わら
office
ず
as
元気にオフィ
alive
スに
as
戻ってく
ever.
るのです
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in
いや誰やね
advance,
ん
death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
いや誰やねん。モニタールームエレベーター。これ展示品というか最初にあったあれですよね。またメタ部屋に来てしまったか。うん。めたい部屋に来てしまったな。バケツも展示されてるんでしょうか。高専地帯。うん。これは from subject おquestion will the game future pixel no how do you stay in shape say わからん。うしゃしゃしゃい。わあ予告編。わめったいな。最初のね数年前にやってた。これだ。笑ってる。
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how
どんな
much
に
they
彼がお
need
互い
one
を必要
another?
としているかわかりますか。
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
あ
You can still save these two.
結局
You
死
can
んじゃう
stop
ん
the
だわ。
program before they both fail.
うん。
Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice.
死ぬんだ。
Don't choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
おー死んじゃった。なんかスタンリーがこう最初に来た瞬間からもうすでにスタンリーは死んでいたみたいなあれを書いてたから、もうだいぶめたいこと言ってましたけどね、あの女のあの人も。ただあとこれが
All
4
his
つ
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
あ
decided to go to the
るん
meeting
だっ
room.
たら
Perhaps
こ
he
こ
had
で
simply
一
missed a
旦
memo.
止めておきたい
No
かも
matter
しれ
how
ない
hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
そこそこいい時間かつ本日3回行動。多分オートセーブだとは思うんだよ。ここで一旦終わっておこうかな。よし。ということでね、終わろうと思います。ありがとうございました。では一旦エンディング流してスーパーチャットの方読ませていただこうと思います。微妙に酔ったわ、しかも。ほなおつゆぎバイバイ。ちょっと待って、みんなのが出てない。なぜ？ 出ない。もう終わりです、みんな。もう終わりだよ。おしまいね。おしめだ。よし。ほな、読んでいきます。シャルレオパルドさん、ありがとうございます。ハッチーさん、博士に指示中なんて絶対しないよ。むしろ博士が冷たく指示中してくれ。気持ちいい。まだ何もしないですよ。海のもくつさん、博士のフローラルな匂い、最高そう。風呂だけにね。明日もよろしくお願いします。フローラルはないかも、家に。うん。アウルさん、博士大会頑張ってすごかった。ゆっくり食べて博士配信ありがとう。こちらこそありがとう。海のもくつさん、麻雀素人だけど博士のプレイめっちゃかっこよかったし、自分も上手くなりたいなって思ったわ。そうね、経験っすね。ひろみさん、赤スパありがとうございます。やれば上手くなる。うん。ファントムさん、久々の本物の博士ゆきさん、キャンキャンキャンキャン。ワインパさん、最後のお疲れ様でした。マンジャムスタイルも楽しかったです。ありがとうございます。いつもお世話になっております。佐藤きびさん、バケツ手に持ってる姿美しかったです。これからも応援してます。今日も配信お疲れ様。ジムちゃうて。いちごもなかさん、このゲーム初めて見たから指示中、リスナーと戦うのかと思ってた。ゲームの指示中やったんやね。面白かったよ。3回コードありがとうなかったです。そうなんですよ。このね、ゲームは、ゲームの指示中と戦えるゲームですね。ヨキハさん、仕事で疲れた体で冬木ちゃんの配信気持ちばーお疲れ様、配信してくれてありがとう。まだおかしくなってまってるよ。お疲れ。ただのりんさん、3回コードお疲れ様。他サビチかった。うわ、なんか言おうとしたよね。分かってんだから。まゆさん、3回コードお疲れ様。指示中ずっとうるさかったな。やはり滅ぼさなければならない。そうだよ。しかも指示中ね、うるさかった割にね、アンチコメントでね、だいぶ痛手を負ってたからね。そうよ。チャンイバンさん、3回コードお疲れ様です。今回は課長勝ちのハイパーあまり良くないな。ナイスファイ、どうもありがとう。ホワイトアウトさん、バケツ大です。お納めください。ありがとうございます。夢の穴さくらさん、指示中アップデにより何かしら完成させてくれよ。スタンリー、よって星一つをさせていただきます。PS、歌唱風月戦お疲れ様チーム、みんなのガッチガチのイケメン。は、むなちゃんよかったわ。月面観察またいろいろできるといいなって。めっちゃ幸せいいから、ジムから離れろ。はい、ということでね、このゲームにもスキップボタンが出ることを祈っております。では、お次、バイバーイ。